All right, let's have a conversation about Jayden Daniels. Marcus Mariota played against the Raiders, played well. I think there's a real expectation when Mariota steps out there that he's going to play well. I think if you think differently at this point, you're blinded by like a Netflix documentary that was unfair to a good man, or like his track record in Tennessee 11 years ago. At this point, I'm quite comfortable in Marcus Mariota. Yeah. Brian, I imagine you are too.
I am.
Dan Quinn spoke with the media. I was on the Zoom yesterday and was asked kind of, hey, what's the deal with Jayden at this point?
Still listen to him as day to day, and then as we get into Wednesday, I'll be more qualified to, hit us on what types of practice and what we can hit on to go. So he went through some things today, some more tomorrow, and that'll lead us up into Wednesday. But when we get together prior to practice, I'll have a better idea for the plan. We've not nailed that down for the week as of yet.
Okay. They're still saying he's day to day.
I wouldn't expect to hear anything come out of Dan's mouth but what he just said.
So later in his media session, I asked him, kind of knowing what this answer was going to be or expecting a certain answer, I just asked, Mariota played really well. Does that impact the timeline or the plan with Jayden?
I think, JP, you probably heard me talk. I was probably one of the least surprised people in the stadium that he played well. I just see him. I know what he is and how it goes. But as far as tying one to the other, that's not part of the deal. We just have a lot of trust in him and how we would go about it. But, man, we'll lean into the medical people and where we're at and what to do. But that type of preparation for him, it's just that kind of steady, consistent way. So, but they're not tied together, to answer your question.
Now, I'm going to use my mind. Do I believe that 100% to be factual? No, I don't.
Right.
I believe, yes, if we're not going to make a sole decision based off of that fact, but the fact that he played that well and your team responded that well and you're playing against a team that scored 0 points, if we felt a little bit more comfortable to go another week with my main guy sitting out and going with this guy, I have extreme confidence in it. You know what I'm saying? But if my guy is 100% ready to go, I'm letting my guy go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I listen, I think Dan shoots it as straight as they come. But the question you asked, good question. I wouldn't, if I felt yes, it's tied with the other. The fact that he plays so well and we have so much confidence in him, yeah, I feel this make me want to. I wouldn't say it publicly either. You know what I mean? Some things are unnecessary at this point. You got to write a story. You ask a question. But also, remember we used to do a little thing about what they didn't say?
Yeah.
I think that you the guys that are around football enough, you know what they didn't say and you know what they wanted to say well enough to be able to take that answer and understand, look, he ain't lying to you, but he's surely not going to tell you 100% the truth.
My thought with the way Mariota is playing and frankly has played in Washington. In Washington, over the past 2 seasons, Mariota's now appeared in 4 games, started 1. He's completing 75% of his passes with 5 touchdowns against 0 picks.
Yeah.
I think because of the faith and confidence they have in Mariota, I think if they had, you look around the league this past Sunday and you see some of the backup quarterback play. Jake Browning, there was some bad quarterback play,
totally,
right?
Totally.
I think if that was the situation here and Jayden's at 85%, we're ready to go. But I think because of Mariota, it's like, all right, let's get Jayden to 100. Let's get Jayden to 98%. Let's get him to the healthiest he's going to be in the middle of an NFL season. So I do think that allows some leeway. The internet's going a little crazy this morning. I haven't heard the audio, but Bickle this morning on the Junkies said, somebody he's talked to said that this Jayden thing is actually going to be a few more weeks. I'm trying to. So EB said on the Junks this morning, Jayden's wearing a brace and that the injury could be more than a 1-2 week thing. The brace, I mean, that's kind of been openly discussed.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even consider a brace particularly like alarming at this point. I don't really think of that as a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you get to a situation where he misses 2 weeks, yeah, I guess that is more than a 1 to 2 week thing. You know what I mean? That's a 2 week thing. I guess some folks are not thrilled that DQ keeps saying day to day if it's longer than day to day. But I think.
But what if it's truly day to day? Okay, and he has a setback in practice or when he's out there working on stuff, and it goes another week. We had a doctor come on this show, and he said, "No, I have not worked with Jayden, but if it's a grade 1, it could be 1 to 3 weeks." Did he not?
Yep.
So if I've already told you a possible grade 1 is 1 to 3 weeks, do I have to update the 1 to 3 weeks every time I talk? So that is where we've gotten to a point where us as laymen, and we talk on the radio. We're very good at talking on the radio, but we don't know what the hell we're talking about half the time when it comes to a medical issue. And just because somebody else says, well, man, it could be longer than that, I'm not going to dismiss what the coach is saying, because the coach has a right and has a reason to protect certain information. And he may think it's going to be only a week. If they told him it's a 1 to 2 week thing, 1 to 3 weeks. And based off of that, knowing how Jayden is, we expect him to come back and play sooner. But what if something just messes up a little bit longer and if the pain is still there? You go with the guy that you have that's just healthy right now and let him go. But I don't believe in questioning everything somebody says. Because I don't think, I'm being honest with you, been around a lot of coaches, been around a lot of people. I don't think Dan Quinn comes and tell you an outright 100% lie just because.
I agree with that. I don't think Jayden's playing this week. I think last week there was some real discussion, and then they were like, all right, it's going to be Marcus. I think it's going to be Marcus again. Whether that is strictly Jayden related or if it's Marcus related, I've talked with some folks. I don't think Jayden plays this week, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not ruling it out. Maybe he even practices. Maybe they want to get him back on the practice field before they get him back on the playing field.
Well, I would think that if he doesn't practice, it would be criminal to just throw him out on the football field if he doesn't practice.
Right.
So, and that is what Dan says all the time. We have a plan. And he has to get on the field and hit certain markers before we decide to put him out there. So the man he's told us every step along the way. But man, the world right now is about who comes out and say it first or whatever, and they're gonna keep looking. And there are some people who will tell you stuff and they don't must have 100% facts either. So I don't know. We'll see.